I was speaking to Kate Alberry, who is the newly appointed Director of Environmental Planning at the Cowra Council. Welcome to CCN.
Thank you so much.
Now, Kate, can you tell us a little bit about your background? I know it's got all sorts of bits and pieces in it. Just give us a rough idea of where you're coming from.
Okay, I've spent the last 7 years in Kempsey on the mid-north coast. Before that, lived and worked in the Northern Territory for planning for the NT government, and grew up on the Central Coast.
And you've had some other interesting jobs along the way.
Yeah, started off with agriculture and then went to vet nursing, and then met a fantastic engineer who talked me into being a planner.
It's going to be it's a big role, environmental planning. What's your basic aims or objectives over, say, the next 2 or 3 years? I know you're still learning the lay of the land in Cowra, but what's your basic sort of theories, I suppose?
Well, I guess you never stop learning. I'm always studying, so that's my personal goals, is to just keep studying and keep learning. As far as Cowra, I'm going to need some more time to formulate some ideas, I guess, but basically continue to make planning and environmental services open and transparent to the community, and be available, and make sure the staff are available.
So by that you're saying if someone's got a bit of an issue with the environmental planning department, your door's always open?
That's exactly right. That's right.
Now, where do you see planning affecting the lives of the residents of Cowra?
Well, planning affects all sorts of parts of Cowra, as well as all local government areas. I guess it's an emotional and financial issue, so I guess it affects everybody. And as it gets more complicated, and planning by nature is complicated in New South Wales, it's going to be more in the forefront, more on the front pages of papers, because development is going to happen and people are going to want to change things. So, obviously,
access around Cowra is an important process, and unfortunately the main street goes up and down a steep hill. Do you see that as fairly important, particularly when we have an ageing population?
Oh yes, it's very important, and with changes to the disability access codes all the time, it's a moving feast, and council just needs to remain vigilant in updates of legislation and updates of requirements for footpaths, for access to buildings, to all sorts of things. So yeah, it's a big issue everywhere, and as you know, the population of New South Wales is ageing. And infrastructure ages, and the cost of replacement of infrastructure is important. So it's about council budgeting for that, and also keeping on top of the ball.
Now, of course, let's pretend you're a rock star and you've just visited, which is the normal way. You know, when the rock star arrives at the airport, and they say, "What do you think of Cowra?"
Well, I'm really strangely excited to be here, because you have a yoga centre and you have an amazing gym, and the landscape is beautiful. So my daughter's at the local high school, and everybody seems to be very, very friendly, and I'm really, really happy to live here.
And had you had any dealings with Cowra before?
None at all.
Well, that'll be interesting. It's a big learning curve.
Well, everywhere has their little issues, I guess, but coming from Kempsey, where it has a lot of issues, it can only be moving forward for me.
So we're saying we're going to be moving forward as we have done over the last few years. Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us, and all the best.
Thank you so much.